We the real rock stars, and I'm the biggest of all of them. I'm the #1 rock star on the planet.
There it is, that record, it says that. That's what your album says, and you come out. And, you know, there are songs on there where you make that very clear.
So what I want to explain to everybody out there is like, I make music, I can do it, but I shouldn't be limited to only one place of creativity. And it's literally only like 1 or 2 or 3 reasons why I haven't been able to break that down.
But why would you feel that you are? Because, and I'm
no,
just
this is the thing is you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand that I did the Yeezys and they eBayed for $90,000.
Right.
And people wanted them bad as whatever, right? But I didn't get a call from Nike the next day. You guys don't understand that I've met with companies and they say, what we're trying to figure out is how we can control you and control that. If you're an architect, if you're a world builder, if you have all these ideas and you're Gaudi and you want to build buildings, if you don't ever get that out, what's going to happen?
Isn't that why you do it? Isn't it the process? Isn't it the point?
Y'all don't think you're really hearing what I'm saying.
But I'm trying to.
As a creative,
Yeah.
for you to have done something to the level of the Yeezys and not be able to create more. And you cannot create that on your own with no support, with no backing. So when I say clean water was only served to the fairer skin, what I'm saying is we're making product with chitlins, t-shirts. That's the most we can make, t-shirts. We can have our best perspective on t-shirts. But if it's anything else, your Truman Show boat is hitting the wall. And what's more important to me about this than everything that I could do sonically and everything is, if I go somewhere and someone says, hey, we don't like Kanye West, you've heard that before, right? What people don't realize is I want to make uniforms for my high school basketball team through brand Yeezy. I want to make that one step and then make another step and then eventually do uniforms for the entire city. Then I want those uniforms to be hot and make money then I eventually want to be the anchor and the force behind a $1 billion company. And after I made that $1 billion step, then I can go in and say, hey, I've got an opinion on this. And that could be a $10 billion step. And I eventually want to be the anchor of the first $1 trillion company. But when you sit and you have a meeting with a company and show them the most innovative take on theater, because you thought of it one night while you were sitting on top of Watch the Throne set, which you designed with Ed Devlin. And I designed the set with Ed Devlin, and I thought of, okay, surround vision. It should be a screen above you, below you, to the left or right of you, and in front of you also. Then I paid my own money that I get paid for doing Gold Digger, which I never really liked that song, but I always knew I would get paid for doing Gold Digger. Then I shoot a film in Qatar with 3 camera crews, with Nate Brown, Virgil, Matt William, Nabil, all of these crew, all of the people that every video that pops up every other day on Hypebeast, that's my crew, right? So we go out and shoot that. 3 camera crews over 5 days, edit it over 30 days, show it at Amphar. No, show it in Cannes the night before Amphar on the beach, build it in a pyramid with Rem Koolhouse's agency, design the entire thing, put editors in it, blah, blah, blah. People give a standing ovation. I do an interview in New York Times the next year to say, hey, I did this and I want to let you know I did it, right? Yeah. And then it doesn't get mentioned in the interview. And a week later, they do an interview with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and they're talking about what the next frontier of theater will be and how it'll be higher price tickets and it will be something that's surrounding you and blah, 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 but maybe it's in the goggles. I said, wait a second. I just only did the interview to tell people that I invented it. I made it. Like I remember when I was dropping William Morris, right? And then Sarah Newkirk at that time said, before you drop them, go meet with Ari Emanuel. And I sat with him, I said, Ari, I'm an inventor. And he goes on to tell me about the way it works. And what he said is, you are a celebrity. So basically what's gonna happen is, there's product here. And this is where you end up, right here. If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product. Because look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras? So it becomes all of this thing where all of the musicians try to get more money by promoting other products, right? So you'll say, hey, you know what? I've got this water and we've got this red version. We've got a red bottle and we got a David Beckham version here. Then we got a blue version. So my opinion is no more than the patina on top of it. When I understand the reason from my core of why something should work all the way through. Mm-hmm. So I understand we want to make it about music, but I wanted to take this step to say, we got this new thing called classism. It's racism's cousin. This is what we do to hold people back. This is what we do. And we got this other thing that's also been working for a long time where you don't have to be racist anymore. It's called self-hate. It works on itself. It's like real estate of racism. Where just like that, when someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a gangster? Or if I had a song that said, I am a pimp? All those colors and patinas fit better on a person like me, right? But to say you are a god, especially when you got shipped over to the country that you're in and your last name is a slave owner's. How could you say that? How could you have that mentality?
I mean, I know in the past you've talked about, like, you know, building hotels, doing things that are beyond people's normal frame of reference. Yeah. They know you as Kanye West, an artist. They know that you're moving into fashion. But these things, I guess, in a way, are hard for people to comprehend because they don't have that level of drive. Do you know what I mean? Has it always been like this for you? Have you always felt like you can set your mind to anything and you will achieve it ultimately?
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything. And I'm Kanye West at age 36. So just watch the next 10 years.
Yeah.
One thing I want to express to people also, people think a lot of my motivation is very like megalomaniac and self-oriented. To the contrary, completely. I just want to help. From day one, I just wanted to help. Like my father was a Black Panther. My father was a journalist, a paparazzi, a photojournalist. He was a paparazzi. We had a dark room in our house. Like 7 years ago, he lived in a homeless shelter. Not because he was homeless, because he wanted to help the ex-drug addicts. He wanted to get that close. He started a foundation called Good Water and moved to the Dominican Republic to help right there, to help with the prostitution, to help with the extortion, to help right there. He stays in the Dominican Republic right now. My mom was the first Black female chair of the English department. There is no award show. There's no amount of billboards. There's nothing that can define me or make me pass what my parents made me. And that's exactly who I am. And I put on that pink polo and said, broke, and broke through that TV, and now you got an interview with me. Because Dead Presidents was coming out the gate, and they was like, oh, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. But me, I'm here. You know what I mean by I'm here? Like, meaning like, I got no play on Yeezus on the radio, right? No.
Not entirely true, by the way.
A little bit, but no #1 records, no Kanye West, blah, 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 right? So then I was going back and forth with the company I'm in touring with right now. And I said I wanted to perform in the round. And then creatively, we just couldn't find it. So I said, put me up against the corner like how we did on Watch the Throne. We'll just do that instead. They said, well, you know, we just can't technically do it. Because technically, why? Why can't you do it? They said, look, if you do that, you're going to be in breach of contract, right? So basically meaning like, if I didn't sell the tickets, I would go into debt.
Right.
So they pushed me back against the ropes, right? And I said, I'll take that chance. I'll take that chance, right? So, pre-order, 9,000 the first day in Chicago, doubling Watch the Throne, full pre-orders in one day. That meant the people stood up and said, we like what Kanye is saying.
But
we like New Slaves.
But we do that all the time.
Yeah, but that through radio.
Well, yeah, but I'm a radio broadcaster and I love your records. I mean, you know, for me...
No, I'm not pinpointing just you. I'm talking about the overall radio. There is no Get Lucky on the album. And perhaps, you know, it's just because that just wasn't the song. But and maybe it could be that. But it sounds like there's hits on the album to me. But it sounds like there's hits that's distracted by the statements, fuck you and your corporation, y'all niggas can't control me on the first single.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this to me sounds like a radio hit where I'm coming from. But you said yourself at the start, you made a record that was built out of frustration and that you were trying to create cracks in the pavement. I like that description more than you made an album full of radio hits. As a Kanye West fan, I don't, you know, turn to your album.
I never described it as an album full of radio hits.
No. But I'm saying, like, you know, I'd prefer than you to describe it as cracks in the pavement than to have made a record just full of radio hits. You know what I mean? I want to hear where you're at.
Pause that. That song is a hit song minus the line, fuck you and your corporation, y'all niggas can't control me on your first single.
I think it's a great record.
But you ain't hear what I'm saying.
Go on.
That song's a hit record minus fuck you and your corporation, y'all niggas can't control me, said on your first single. Because if you can't control me, then you can't control him, then you can't control him, then you can't control him, and then the information age starts. What Kurzweil is talking about starts. What Steve Jobs has left us starts. Steve Jobs made the internet usable. This is the information age. We barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's things that are moving. The entire music industry was hit by a fucking glacier by the internet. And Sean Parker just like that great shit up in there. And Steve was like, no, wait a second. Come on.
Yeah.
Give him a little time. There won't be any music. You just give it away like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But shit is changing.
Yeah.
People are going to look at this interview and say, hey, I understand what he's talking about. People are going to look at this interview and say, I don't like Kanye. Look, he looks mad. I don't like his teeth. They're going to say, why doesn't he just focus on music? I liked him as music. They're going to say, hey, I want the old Kanye, blah, blah, blah. But one thing they will do, they will play this interview in 5 years. They will play this interview in 10 years and say, he called that, he called that, he called that. He said that was going to happen. That was going to change.
You're a futurist.
Yeah. I'm a postmodernist at best as a career. I'm a futurist mentally.